Brandon?
I like to listen to the Kings of Leon. Playing guitar, I think that's where I get a lot of my ideas, tone-wise and part-wise and stuff like that.
I like the Black Keys and Bruce Springsteen.
Big fan of Radiohead.
Yeah.
I like the push boundaries with chords and interesting ideas.
That's a good answer. Big fan of Frightened Rabbit, Shearwater,
Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift. If you're watching, call me.
Describe your nominated work.
Well, it started, I originally wrote most of these songs over the past three or 4 years, or at least started some of them, and I wanted to actually put them out there. So I came to Brandon because I was a really big fan of his other band, Wild Rompet. We started working on the songs and it was missing some stuff, so we decided to, instead of just doing them acoustically, make them a whole band. So that's when I called Sean Donaghy and Isaac Lewis and Paul Pellizzeri. We started practicing, and after the first practice, we decided that it was something that we wanted to stick with and make an actual group.
The songs that Lucy was writing, we started the process and started rearranging the songs that she had already, and everything that we sort of ended up with was a new sort of product that was a product of all of us, which was something that was really cool to work with.
How did you raise the funds for this project? How long did you expect it will take to recoup your out-of-pocket recording expenses? Okay, so I recorded us. We did it basically, on our own. The money that we kind of made doing shows, saved up. We already had the gear. So I think for us, the process of doing it ourselves was kind of like a really cool and time-allowing process. We definitely got to really experiment and figure out what the sound was that we wanted, and I think that that to an extent puts us apart from like a lot of the other bands recording, just because like today, you go to the studio and you're paying for time and there's no focus on anything except for like time is money. It becomes really difficult, I've found, to work in those circumstances. So I think doing what we did was pretty beneficial.
I should also shout out to Converse. We actually recorded one of the tracks, Stalker, at their Rubber Track Studios up in Brooklyn, which was free, and they were incredible to work with. Aaron was a pleasure to work with, and we went up for a whole day and managed to get a great song out of it, and that was also something really cool that we got to experience with this EP.
And we got shoes. It was a One Happy accident. Would You, the title track off our EP, was originally a different song called Ceiling Beams and Bloody Knees, which I wrote about 2 years ago, and originally wanted to put that on the EP. However, when we went and sat down and started working with different instruments and different parts, we sped it up so much that the lyrics didn't work anymore. So we had to write new lyrics, which I think came out a lot better. And for the next EP, we're going to keep Ceiling Beams as it was and just leave it slow and really depressing.
If I remember correctly, it was just the day before we went to record, we were just like, this isn't right.
This isn't the same
song. And we started from scratch the day before we went in the studio, and it worked.
Yeah, it's a good example of how our band works. We're
very romantic.
It makes no sense.
We're very willing to, change things, and we're not trying to stick with any, formula.
We did spend a lot of time in the studio, late nights, sleeping on the floor, missing the Super Bowl.
Lucy on the floor, blankets.
Lucy on the floor.
Why did you choose to submit this work to the 12th IMAs?
I thought it was a great product. I think it was well put together, really well mixed, produced. It sounded great. One of the best things I've been involved with, so I'm excited to submit it. I'm glad we did.
What is your definition of success, and how will you know when you've achieved it? I think that in music it's so hard to really achieve success and know when you've reached it, but for me, I think that being successful at music would be to be doing what I love doing, which is writing and singing and playing, and being able to support myself with it.
That people actually are responding to it means we've been successful. Maybe not at like a global level, but the fact that people are responding to it, even the IMAs, considering us as success. Just having people react to something we've done something right.
I feel successful.
True success is like, in my mind, is putting out a product, a record, an EP that you know that you're happy with it. Felt like it came from you. You didn't listen to what people told you or follow any sort of standards. You put out a product that you genuinely came from you, and have people recognize that and feel as happy as you are with it. That's the true success to me.
I agree. I think that success in music is like, spending a ton of time, working on this song, and then being able to, showcase that for people and to have them, relate to your feelings that you put into it. And, for people to appreciate the music that you make, it's pretty amazing. I think that's success.
Good answers, guys. Good answers.
How will you leverage your IMA honors to achieve your career goals?
Gonna make some T-shirts, some hats.
I think that we're extremely lucky to be nominated as in our category for Pop Contemporary EP as the only unsigned artist. So I think that already that alone has helped us immensely.
And it put us up with a group of really talented artists. So just being placed together with a bunch of people that already have their fan bases, it can help us step to another level of people that we wouldn't have normally reached. Who is sitting in your audience and what makes your fans unique?
Moms.
Brandon's extended family.
My whole family.
I think we're pretty lucky. We have a very wide fan base. There are a lot of really different people. We were lucky enough to go on tour this past September, the Northeast, Midwest, and Canada with Rusted Root, and their fan base is very different from our intended fan base. However, a lot of people still were able to connect with our music, even though it's very, very different from Rusted Roots.
I think we're at a great sort of crossover with the music we're putting out, where typically with this pop adult contemporary, there's a lot of soccer moms that come with that, which we love soccer moms because they love our music.
And they lend us their minibands.
And they lend us their minibands. But we also definitely tap into that indie rock crowd, and it's good to see a lot of diversity with the faces that are coming to see our shows.
What is your guilty pleasure on the road? Any close calls, mishaps, whatever, while on tour?
Sean, why don't you talk
Okay,
about
this is a sore subject.
Someone should hold his
So we're
hand.
driving. Yeah, hold my hand. Okay, I'm good. I just needed that. We're driving. We're on tour with Rusted Root this past fall. Driving from our first show in Chicago. We had a few days to get to Toronto, and we're driving through Indiana, under the Great Lakes, whatnot. Look at a map. We paid the toll to get from Indiana into Ohio, and George, our merch guy.
But we're in Indiana.
No, we were headed out.
We passed the toll.
And,
We're almost there.
Yeah.
So we car starts making some weird noises.
Van Diesel.
It was gurgling. It was gurgling. It was like. Think dubstep, but in van form, and that was it. We got the van back right before last minute and made it to our next show. Didn't miss any shows, so.
We had 6 people in one hotel room.
Yeah, it was
We
a bad
ate the worst
situation.
pizza ever, and then took a collective 4-hour band nap.
That was so good.
Yeah. Musical heroes. Just one from everybody down the line.
Ooh,
Oh,
that's
God, I
a
don't know.
Go this way.
tough one.
Dave Grohl.
Tom York.
Taylor Swift.
David Bowie.
Florence Welch.
So
Okay.
hard. Okay, I'll take that.
Are there any songs you wish you wrote and why?
No,
Trouble by Taylor Swift, but we have changed the word to Bubble.
Bubbles, bubbles, bubbles,
Oh,
bubbles,
like indie song?
bubbles.
Would have been
What artists are you listening to that would surprise your fans? That's neat.
I listen to Eminem every morning.
nah,
Yeah.
Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift. all across
No
the
one's
board.
surprised by that, John.
We all like hip hop.
Yeah,
Mainly Zach, but
Rack City is our
Watch out
our
when he
anthem.
raps.
Bruno Mars.
Big Kendrick Lamar fan.
Don't come out right.
How do you discover new music? Do you buy music or are you content with streaming? Spotify all the way.
I use Spotify solely. I don't really buy music anymore unless it's not on Spotify, or if it's a local band
I
on
will say that,
Bandcamp.
yeah.
I will definitely
Local
pay
bands.
for
I will buy vinyl records.
I
because at
think-
least then you know
yeah.
it's going directly to the band and not getting. How will musicians make a living if fans continue to expect music to be free?
I think we all agree across the board. It's in touring.
Touring.
That's where you see if your fans are really dedicated. They'll come out and they'll support. And as long as you tour within your means,
Be creative too.
if you're a small band, you don't need a tour bus. You don't need like a huge trailer. You do what you need to do to keep on tour. And if you keep going out to see your fans, they'll keep supporting.
You gotta be creative with it too. You have to find creative ways to interact with your fans, get them to give you their money.
Licensing,
Licensing is huge. That's definitely
branded marketing.
there's a lot of revenue streams that most independent bands don't realize they need to utilize more. And if you're creative and you work hard and you sort of tap into these other revenue streams and not focus on selling your record.
Are digital singles, EPs versus full albums the future?
I think full-length albums, they're not going to die off, but
I think
They're
full-length
definitely
albums,
not
though, it's a lot of music that's going to catch people's attention for a short amount of time. And if you spread it out to singles and EPs, people don't have the attention they need to really focus on a full length. And you'll put so much of yourself into a full length and then have it be old news soon. So doing singles and EPs keeps it in people's face.
And I think smaller amounts of music force people to pay more attention to the songs, especially, listening to it in your car. It's only a 5-song EP, you're on an hour-long drive. You're going to listen to it a couple times, and then you might even learn the words.
And it better be good or they're throwing it out the window.
and
Yeah.
I think
And
the
that's
biggest,
littering.
the biggest
Don't litter.
push with singles and EPs is iTunes and the streaming services. People just listen to the singles, and even YouTube too. People just go out and search a single on YouTube.
It gives you an excuse to get back on the road, more and more. Like, you can put out an EP, say winter, tour after that, put out an EP when you get back and tour again and support a new record. But with a full-length album, it's a lot more of a drawn-out process where it takes a lot of time to record it, and then after you're done touring that, you can't,
You're not ready for something else.
You're not ready for something else yet. But
Dream.
with an EP, you can put out 3 songs here and tour, then put out 5 songs there and then tour again. And it keeps you busy, it keeps you working.
Those were pigeons.
Finish this sentence. The music industry is Sean.
Ready for change.
Zach.
Is changing.
Lucy.
Struggling.
The best. Paul.
Evolving.
I think 3 of you said the same thing.
I know.
You guys, I just went
Mine
to
was ready.
dictionary.com.
His
and then-
already is changed, and his is evolving, so it's this continuous process.
Right. What do you have in the works for the upcoming year?
Well, we're releasing a second EP, hopefully very soon. It's going to be 7 or 8 songs, I think.
So new shows, new EP, new tour.
New custom 40s.
New haircuts.
New look.
Working with a really, really talented photographer right now to do our album artwork. He's from Wilkes-Barre. His name is Chris McKinney, and we've got some really cool art that's going to be going along with all the songs on the EP. In summary, we're so happy and so surprised to be nominated for an IMA this year, and please keep a lookout and expect some more big things from us.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
The
Thanks.
best.